have to see the fear factor of the Johnsons being pushed so hard in that match, if that could leak over to their confidence.
Here we go. Let's play pickleball. Field goal is good.
Riley, you're going for the best put away in pickleball with the sharp angle, and J.W. Johnson switches it up and goes middle.
Look at that flick wizard. So smart on the first point. The other thing I talked to Leah about this, the versatility of this team. We're seeing Riley start on the right side of the court. What does that do to the Johnsons?
Yeah, I think it messes with them.
Okay.
They like the patterns. You see the structure. You know where a lot of your teams are going to line up. To not know is just another factor to think about.
And Riley and I have talked quite a bit about him working on this forehand speed up. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and that's Georgia Johnson, great hands, lots of power, but that's a lot of paddle and body right in front of her when Riley Newman is all the way over into the middle. Oh, he wanted to do it right there.
He did. Win favor either of these teams?
I don't have a strong opinion on it affecting one team drastically more than another. I think a lot of it is how it affects you early.
Yeah.
If it gives you some trouble early or it works out in the favor of your opponent, sometimes, you know, that can mess with your head. If you handle it well early, it becomes kind of a non-factor.
And you want to talk about handling it. What a move from Georgia Johnson. She has these very interesting ernies where she gets like almost parallel and then just shoots that arm out.
Yeah, no jumping of the corner. Saw her do that previously against Matt Wright and Lucy Kovalova. And some really nice reach, too.
Wow. Georgia freaking Johnson right there. My goodness gracious. Riley just staring her down, and she is not impressed.
And great.
Yeah, maybe you're the bulletin board material. That's not the way this duo usually works, but here we go. Timeout called. I mean, just owning the kitchen.
Absolutely right. And Leah Jansen's finding a lot of forehands, which I like, but she is well off the kitchen line, giving Riley room to maneuver, but she hasn't been dialed in quite yet.
So I wondered if it was time to abort the Riley on the right plan, and they have done it at least on that one, and they're doing it here to stack it in reverse here as they get the ball back. She is just unbelievable. She had 2 terrific ATPs in the last round, and that just in the corner.
JW, just play a supporting role. Let Georgia Johnson take the reins and do her thing. Whoever's in front of her, does not matter.
Does not matter. Oh, lefty try there, but her ability to hook those ATPs is so good.
And she hits it very hard, too. There's no hold back.
Oh.
The quality of the athlete in the ATP defense, you have to smash it these days. Just say that was a bad bounce.
Let's just say that.
Awkward swing on the return by Riley Newman.
So this is very different than when they played, because Leah and Riley took game 1 11-5, and then it was 11-1 Georgia and J-Dub that set the table for the 14-12. So we'll see if there's any pushback here with the new arrangement, at least.
Yeah, and this wind is up and it's calming, and it is not consistent at all. The previous tournament, we did have a good side, bad side situation. Probably played into that score line. Riley had the read, but just too much wizardry. Yeah, Riley knew he left it half of a piece of an inch too high, and J.W. Jansen was going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, that's called a half inch. Oh, and a little check of the brother. Get out of there, man. I got this.
This is reversed mixed doubles. Take the range, Georgia Jansen. If you have to hip check a brother, do it.
Get him out of there, man. You deserve the first shot at the cake. Hear that distinct voice of Lindsay Newman cheering on. Good job, Rye. If you hear that, that's Lindsay. Oh, now George is going for passing shots and doubles.
Yeah, heat check. It's a good score line to go for a shot like that.
It is. Just too good from Georgia.
Yes.
0-7-2.
It's a big-time drive from Leah Jansen. And on the previous point, Leah was just like, well, dinking hasn't worked great in this particular pattern. I'm just going to fire one. Georgia up to the task. From Leah Jansen, all forehands on the left side, and that last one on top of the ball and down at the feet. Georgia Johnson's power is not a factor if you can put it there.
And 3 straight here on a 2.
3-7-2.
Riley said yours without being aware of her position.
Right. It can't be hers if she's going to take a forehand on that first ball. So Riley needs to recognize that. He is not going to have help in that particular situation.
And just finds that little sliver, the slot canyon as they have around here.
Right. 4 or 5 times now she's found that spot.
The narrows. Oh, no way. So just full clank, and Riley had no idea where that ball was going.
He still doesn't know who hit it.
No, I don't either, to be honest with you.
9-3-1.
Not sure that was staying in, but what it does do is bring us to game point for the Johnsons, who are on it here in the windy conditions.
10-3-1.
Yeah, really nice from Leah. Didn't even consider hitting that last ball from a low position of J.W. Jansen.
10-3-2.
Second try to close it out. First view of the pancakes and the syrup and the butter. It's getting late though. For it's more dinner than brunch here.
He's going to have that carry over to game 2, I believe. And Leah Jansen just taking a moment as it's big time breeze.
Yeah, Riley looked over at Don Stanley, and it is Don Stanley's birthday. Happy birthday, Don! But
yeah, dust is kicking up too, and
I believe he said unless safety is an issue, and that is not the case, so play on. Saw the Newman willpower there. It's just so smooth.
It is. That's why George is a perfect partner for him. JW, he's a mini alpha there on the left.
but he's got a major alpha to his right. Hello, Newman, with the stare down to go with it.
Yeah, I noticed that as well, Dave. I don't think Georgia saw it, unfortunately, but there was a point of emphasis on that one.
Okay, and he has his eyes glued at Georgia. Did the old throw on the reverse bell on the truck and stare her down. Okay.
Still talking about the wind.
Well, they've had a nice little run in the wind. I'd keep playing.
Don chose to not make eye contact with Riley.
Nor did Georgia. That is the thing to do right now. And that goes deep. And this is interesting because the Johnsons don't really want to call timeout here.
No. Yeah, good recognition on the low paddle position of J.W. Jansen. He has too much power to keep that ball in. Haven't had many of these in this match.
Oh, and off the tape and hands thrown up by both Jansen and Newman there, but they have made things interesting here. Game point 3, though, back on the paddle of Georgia Jansen.
10-6-1.
And hits the tape and stays on their side into the wind, so.
It is a wiffle ball, Dave.
It is, and 40 holes.
You have wind, you have dust, you have altitude, and you have J.W. Jansen flicking the ball at you.
Yeah.
That is a lot to overcome.
That is a lot to deal with there. And now when you're dinking, if you're on the side that Leia and Riley are on, you're going to have a hard time making it bounce because it's going to get caught in the wind.
Not the team you want to be taking the ball out of the air in the #1 seed Johnsons.
What an ATP.
Yeah, she's annoyed.
She is worked up that the wind gave her an ATP, and she executed it perfectly.
Perfectly. That was a great display of athleticism from her.
0-1-1. Second serve.
Yeah, we got debris flying across the court here.
I know we've talked about a lot of the elements, but you have to factor in the dust too. It can affect how the ball skids off of the court and your footing as well.
Oh, no way. That is the most casual wizard in all the land right there. Just sticks the paddle out for the clean winner.
Yeah, and Riley Newman hitting down on that ball with plenty of pace. J.W. Jansen doesn't give a dang.
I think that stayed in. I haven't seen a call.
Second serve.
Or is there a call?
No call.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so they called it out.
They are calling it out now. Okay. Yeah, and we have a massive construction site upwind from us, stirring up the dust. So that is it's contributing.
And we're from Texas, and there's cows somewhere.
Yes.
It's a distinct smell.
Yeah. Great dig from Newman. And I'm not going to say he was staring at Julie, but he was looking in the general direction. I'm going to just keep an. I'm just going to keep an eye. I'm not saying that happened. I'm just noted. And nice to take that from a high position back down cross court.
Yeah, especially with Leah Jansen pulled out wide to her right. That's the perfect location for Georgia.
Just can't get back there.
That was a great dig in the midcourt from Riley to get up. Georgia, wherever the sliver is on the court, she's finding it. We're starting to see some real frustration here from Leah Jansen, and she needs to be careful. This match is still well within reach.
Oh, yeah.
We're at 3-1 right now in game 2. And from the vibe of our head referee, we're not going to be stop and play anytime soon. No. She's got to battle through it.
3-1-2.
So a timeout
of the season. This is event number 8. And we have the MLP season looming. So get some points, players.
And the Narrows is found again.
Yes, it is.
5-1-2.
We got all kinds of references here. We got the gorge. You got to drive through it just to get here to St. George.
Yes. So. Yes, we will embrace your topography happily. Uh-oh. Popped up, yeah. And speaking of topography, the Black Desert Resort, our title sponsors, got the lava flow up there. So the Black Rock, the green golf course, the red rocks. That place is special.
Just don't forget the lakes and the pools as well.
Those too, yes.
Everything is contrasting, and it is popping in that spot.
Nice job by Riley Newman right there.
Yeah, he just loaded up and swung as hard as he could, and that's what it takes to beat Georgia Johnson in a hands battle.
1-7-1.
But big separation on that possession for the Johnsons.
Point.
Hooked it a bit too much. J.W. Johnson with that unique two-handed backhand technique. Kind of has it cocked up and loaded on that side. It has been improving quite a bit, though.
Oh, and just takes it back against the grain. That's so pretty.
Riley had a perfect read on some of the previous spots J.W. Johnson had gone.
Not that time. I mean, that ball just went right past. He's like, yes, I've got it. Oh, dear.
Set 2-1. Second serve. 7-2-2.
All right, that's what you need to mount a comeback. 2 quick misses.
2-7-1.
Positive chat there from Leah Jansen over to Riley Newman. She knows this is a big moment. If they can get a couple or possibly a few right back in it, that is not going to help.
2-7-2.
Just pulls it a little too wide. We had a 2022 mixed doubles point there for a minute.
Yeah, Leah Jansen rolling the dinks and Georgia Jansen short hopping and going with slice. That was an extended battle. Nice job of getting some extra spin on that last shot from Leah Jansen. A good eye there. Riley calls her off. Leah lets it go.
4-7-2.
And there's the best short angle put away in the history of the sport.
And Leah moves well. She's long, and she had a head start to go to that spot, and she did not get there.
None of that mattered. So pushed back and get a few. So can they have another quick defensive possession? Here we go. And backs out of the paddle, save from Riley.
He does that so often, too.
He was really one of the first to actually figure out that that is a thing. I mean, clear her body, tuck that elbow, and just destroy.
Yeah, that's unique technique at its finest. No one on the ladies' side can hit that type of shot that way like Georgia Jansen can.
ATP defended. And right back through there. And Riley has guessed wrong a couple of times on those.
JW just 2 out wide and 1 up the middle. Nobody's going to be able to have a beat on that.
Match point.
Match point, and their day is done here if they win it. They do not. Second try to close it out right here. Longest dink rally by the fellas so far right there. Good deep return, so there is still a little life.
Hanging in there. You never know in these conditions, too, when you might get 3 or 4 gifts in a row.
All right.
Georgia Jansen goes high and hard up at the upper chest of Riley Newman. Perfectly executed.
And they got the 2 stops, but they cannot add to their total. Match point number 3.
10-1.
Darn right, get out of the way, J-Dub. That's Georgia's. That's Georgia freaking Johnson's ball right there. And the Johnsons are the top seed for a reason in this field.